Hello, first tonight, the former leader of the UK Independence Party has spoken of the moment he crashed to earth in a light aircraft.
On board, Nigel Farage trailing a UKIP banner as a stunt on election day. But something went badly wrong. The emergency services say Mr Farage and his pilot are lucky to be alive.
This was election day for Nigel Farage. Definitely not what he'd dreamed of. His UKIP campaign in the Buckingham constituency had been largely unremarkable until early on polling day.
I mean, the idea was to fly a banner round the Buckingham constituency saying vote for your country, vote UKIP, and a sort of circle around the villages and towns. And I thought it'll be a really good election day stunt. I generally quite like stunts. I've pulled a few over the years. And the way you do it is you take off in a light aircraft and then you come in and you hook up the banner on a hook that trails beneath the aircraft, and off you go. And something went wrong.
Pilot Justin Adams kept the plane flying, which left Nigel Farage a good 5 minutes to consider his fate.
I was remarkably calm at that stage because I just thought, look, he's the pro. I know 3/5 of 5/8 of nothing about flying. Best I just sit here, cross my fingers, keep quiet, because the last thing he needs is me panicking. He doesn't want to die either. So I was fairly sort of resigned that what will be, and if we are going to be killed, I hope it's quick. Once we'd hit, and there's an enormous bang when you hit, and then suddenly I can see us going bang, bang, rolling over. And there were sort of 2 or 3 instalments that I can remember, and at each time thinking, I'm still here. And then this awful smell of petrol. And you've got petrol on your clothes and in your hair, and thinking, oh, gosh, we're going to catch fire. And that was absolutely, that was the scariest thing. Being killed by the impact I was fairly philosophical about, but the thought of burning to death. And then when a passing cyclist and my press officer actually arrived at the plane, I, using Anglo-Saxon, encouraged them to get me out of there as quickly as they possibly could.
The UKIP politician suffered cracked ribs, a chipped spine and a bruised sternum. The injuries to Justin Adams were less serious. Nigel Farage calls himself the luckiest man alive. And when you see these pictures again, it's hard to disagree. Mike Liggins, BBC Look East.
Pressure is growing on the Norwich and Peterborough Building Society to pay compensation to people who've lost thousands of pounds. The society sold products to customers in a company which went bust.
Aubrey and Carol Hill aren't as mobile as they used to be. The couple from Norwich have had to get rid of their car. They couldn't afford to keep it, all because they put most of their life savings, £82,000, in the collapsed investment firm Key Data. They arranged it through the financial advice arm of the region's leading building society, the Norwich and Peterborough.
It's almost halved our income, so that's a considerable amount of worry, not just for now, but in the future.
About 3,500 Norwich and Peterborough customers took out a Key Data investment. Now, the money's not gone missing from the society, it's gone missing from Key Data. But it's a serious embarrassment for an organisation which prides itself on giving sound financial advice. The society said fewer than 1% of its customers were affected, and the deposits of ordinary savers were perfectly safe. It's working with regulators and the Serious Fraud Office to try to sort the mess out. It said the Key Data products we offered were thoroughly assessed in accordance with our normal procedures, and similar products offered by other providers are performing to predictions. The Hills accept that the Norwich and Peterborough isn't directly responsible for the scandal, but feel it has an obligation to compensate them and others.
The Norwich and Peterborough has made a lot of money out of selling this product. I understand that's the way banks and building societies work, but there is no equity about it as far as the customers are concerned, and we're left high and dry.
Look East understands that compensation of some kind is likely, but how much and who pays it is yet to be decided. Richard Bond, BBC Look East, Norwich.
And if you invested with Key Data and you've lost money, we'd love to hear from you by phone or email. Meanwhile, the administrators of Key Data say people who are worried should go to the following website, pwc.co.uk/KIS.
MPs from this region have been arriving at Westminster today to find themselves caught in the coalition crossfire. Liberal Democrats met for 2.5 hours this afternoon, and within the last half an hour, Conservative MPs have started their meeting. Our political correspondent Andrew Sinclair is in Downing Street. Andrew.
Yes, who will be the next resident of 10 Downing Street? We now know it won't be Gordon Brown. Could it be another Labour figure, or will it be David Cameron? And will he be supported by the Liberal Democrats? Everyone's taking these talks down here incredibly seriously. Lib Dems have been told not to speak to the media, and they're not even off the record. We've got to be disciplined, is all I could get out of Norman Lamb this evening. And now Conservatives have started to be briefed by their leader. He's asking them tonight, could you see yourselves working with the Liberal Democrats? They've set up a special reception centre for new MPs. This is where they're issued with their passes, given advice about working at Westminster and told how to correctly claim expenses. There's also a laptop for each of them. When they first thought of becoming MPs, the new intake could never have dreamt that they'd be involved in a national crisis on their first day here.
Hung Parliament, it's the last time we've had one of them, I think I was 2. It's clear the British public didn't give us an overall majority. We weren't very far away, so I think we do have a clear mandate to try and form a government, and I hope that we can.
And it doesn't bother you if you have to share that power with someone else?
No, I think there's quite a lot in our manifestos that were, I'm not going to say exactly the same, but had similar principles.
Those who were MPs before the election were allowed back into their offices today, as Deputy Whip Alistair Burt has been sounding out opinion among his colleagues.
Accordingly, I think most of us agree that the national interest is that a government is formed, and that requires us to deal and work with another party.
And that seems to be the opinion of most Conservatives who I've spoken to. They're prepared to deal with the Liberal Democrats. The question is, will the Lib Dems be prepared to deal with them? What worries the Conservatives is that the Lib Dems may insist on proportional representation. Now, why are they so worried about it? Let me show you the political map of our region. Now, this isn't completely accurate, but we reckon that if last week's election had been fought under AV, the most common form of proportional representation, the Conservatives would have lost 10 seats, 9 of those to Labour. Now, of course, Labour are saying to the Lib Dems, come over with us and we'll give you a referendum on PR straight away. That's why some Lib Dems could be tempted by tonight's offer from Labour following the resignation of Gordon Brown. I must say, most people still feel that a Lib Dem Conservative coalition is on the cards, though, but it's a fast-changing situation.
Andrew, thank you very much.
Who is going to end up forming the next government?